Welcome to the Coach's Corner. We are here at the Tivoli Tap House, a place where you can get great beer as well as great food. I'm Tony Almanza, and alongside of me is David Moreno. David, how was your weekend?
It was great. It was great, Tony. I almost called you Eric. Just had a great weekend calling games and had a great Easter. How about you?
You know, I had a great Easter as well. Just spent time with the family and ate great food, so it was good. So, David, who's on the show today?
We'll introduce the new women's golf coach, Stefanie Ferguson. Then we'll have men's basketball coach, Michael Bahl. He'll join us to tell us about how his offseason's going. And then we'll have men's basketball freshman, Marcus Jefferson. He'll be here to tell us about his first season and what it was like to follow his brother's footsteps playing for the Roadrunners.
Sounds like we're going to have a great show, but before we do that, we want to give you a recap of what happened this past weekend in Roadrunner sports. We'll start with the softball team, who took 3 of 4 from the third-place team in the RMAC in Regis University. In the finale, junior Kylie Burnside was excellent from the circle, shutting out the Rangers in 7 innings, holding them to just 2 hits and striking out 7 batters. Alyssa Richter had 3 hits while the offense put up 6 runs in the 6-0 win. The Roadrunners are climbing up in those RMAC standings and now have won 9 of 10 games.
Now for a little baseball, as the Roadrunners split their weekend series with Regis University, which included a sweep of 2 games on Friday. Logan Sewells clobbered a 2-run home run to kick off the scoring in Game 1. Sewell was also a force on the mound, holding the Rangers to just 1 earned run in the 7-1 win. Game 2 on Friday saw the offense pile up 8 runs, which included Cale O'Donnell's 3rd home run of the season. The split keeps MSU Denver tied with Regis for the 3rd spot in the RMAC standings.
And finally, let's bring you some outdoor track and field. And they had a strong showing at the CSU Pueblo Spank Blazing invite. The women were led by women's basketball player Bree Wellington, who finished 3rd in the high jump by reaching 1.60 meters. Ida Lee Nunez crossed the finish line in 4th spot of the 5,000-meter race, while Sabrina Router finished the 1,500-meter race in a time of 4 minutes and 51 seconds, which was good enough for 5th place. Now for the men, and once again, Michael DK continues to rule the 200-meter dash. On Saturday, the freshman broke the tape, finishing with a time of 22.50 seconds. Freshman Nicholas Polite also competed in the 200 meters and finished 3rd in a time of 23.28 seconds. And finally, Team A of the 4x400-meter relay squad finished 2nd overall, crossing the line in a time of 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Find out more results of the meet at roadrunnerathletics.com. So now we welcome in head coach of the golf team, Stefanie Ferguson. Coach, welcome to the Coach's Corner.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're new to the show and you're new to the position this year. Yep. So tell our audience about where you come from and why you chose MSU Denver as your destination.
Yeah, so I've been a teaching professional for almost 10 years now. I work at Common Ground Golf Course, which is actually the home course for the girls team. I know Lindsay Gullickson, worked with her some this summer, and she kind of introduced me to the program here, and I was fortunate enough to get the job and get to work with the girls. So it's kind of just that connection from, you know, where I worked in the past and knowing Lindsay a little bit.
What is it about teaching these young athletes how to play the sport of golf that excites you and that motivates you to put in all that hard work?
Yeah, you know, I think since I graduated from college, I've learned a lot of things that I wish I would have known when I was in school. So it's been great to have the opportunity to get to share some of that information with them and help them really reach their potential. Because all the girls on the team have great swings, they're really great players, and they just need a little bit to get to that next level. So it's been fun to get to kind of work with them on some of the stuff that I've learned, some of the performance skills to help them get to that next level.
For those of you who don't know, you competed in the Ladies Professional Golf Association. Mm-hmm. Tell us how exciting that was and what it's like to compete at that level.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience. I won my first professional tournament to qualify to play in that, and you know, those girls have a great lifestyle. They get to go out and, you know, they make a putt. Everyone cheers for them. It's just such a cool experience. So I was really fortunate to get to spend the week and kind of see what it was like to be a tour player for a few days. It's an experience that you just, you know, you're just really lucky to have. So I was very fortunate for that.
What did you say to your team when you got the chance to sit down and talk with them?
To start with, like when I first got the job, you know, I just kind of asked them what they were wanting. Told them a little bit about my background and kind of my hopes and what I wanted to work on with them to help them get to that next level, which is kind of more the performance skills and how to manage themselves on the course. And so we kind of worked on that and just kind of wanted to see where they were to start with, so we knew where to go from there.
Can you give us a little info on the girls on this squad? Who do you go to when you need leadership for this team? Who looks to be a diamond in the rough, just waiting to find that talent?
Yeah, so we're lucky we have 3 seniors, Lindsay Gullickson, Meg McMullen, and Kendra Meeker, who have been great leaders. All the younger girls really look up to them. So those are the 3 that I kind of go to when I need someone to step up and play that leader role. Jennifer Hankins, who's one of our sophomores on the team, great golf swing, has the potential to shoot some really low scores, so she's kind of the diamond in the rough. She's been playing well for us this year. And then we have a couple of younger girls that I think are going to really be great in the upcoming years, just need a little bit more work. So.
What have you found is one of the first things you need to teach these kids about golf? Is it their swing, or is it more of like the mental side of things?
I would say it's probably more the mental side and that course management, just helping them, you know, on days where maybe they're not hitting the ball quite as well, still manage to score well, because they all have that potential. It's just, you know, they got to get out of their own way and learn to play golf.
Your last meet took place in Claremore, Oklahoma. Your team finished 9th overall.
Yep.
Give us some thoughts on how that meet went for you.
Yeah, so the girls have made some really good improvements so far this spring, but I don't think their scores have quite reflected the changes that they've made. You know, that tournament, we had some rough weather, and I think for the conditions, they played all right. There was definitely some shots out there that they could have done a little bit better. But I think they all took some really good things from that tournament, and hopefully we can improve on them for this next week.
So what's next for the women's golf team?
We actually head to Arizona this weekend. We'll play in Western New Mexico's tournament down in Palm Valley and Glendale, Arizona.
So where does your team go to work on their craft during the week? Are you out on the same golf course every day that you call the home golf course, or are you traveling around different courses to try something different?
Yeah, we typically are at Common Ground just because it's kind of centrally located. We've got a great par 3 course and a full course there that we can use. But we try to get them out on other golf courses too to do qualifying and things like that, just so they can see some other tracks that maybe are going to reflect more of the courses that they're going to be playing in the future.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Hope you had a great time.
I did. Thank you guys
and
for having me.
great luck to you this weekend.
Thank you very much.
So it's that part of the show again where we give you our tweet of the week. It comes from our track and field team as Michael DK, who not only wins his 200-meter dash, but also showed off his skills on the video camera, capturing some great moments from the CSU Pueblo meet while lining it up with some great music. Definitely check out the video on Twitter at Metro State Cross Country and Track and Field. Now it's time for our first break, but we talk men's basketball up next on the Coach's Corner.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.
I'm Kyle Lawson, senior guard from the men's basketball team.
Pulled an upset against Regis at Regis, and that shot up a good Kyle Lawson coming off the bench.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Shane Fox, senior guard from the men's basketball team.
10 seconds on that shot clock. Jackson, great feed, but blocked. Shane Fox coming up with the swat.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back to the show. Before we talk hoops with Coach Bahl, we want to tell you that you need to become what you need to do to become a member of the Bunk Club. The Mug Club is it's promoted by the MSU Denver Alumni Association, and it's a great way for you to help provide money towards Roadrunner student scholarships. As a Mug Club member, you get a cool Mug Club glass mug, and you get discounts when you come to the Tivoli Tap House, especially on those special happy hour dates where you can get up to $3 off specific Tap House brews. Visit TivoliBrewingCo.com for more information on how you can get started and saving money on Tap House beers after becoming a member of the Mug Club. So now we say hello to men's head coach of the basketball team, Michael Bahl. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
No, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
So, Coach, the Division II Men's Basketball National Championship took place this weekend. Did you at least watch some of the game? And if so, what did you take out of it, and what it takes to get to that level from watching that game?
You know, I was able to actually watch. I watched quite a bit of them. A former player, Sunday Detch, was actually in the Elite Eight. So he went to Barry University, and they played Ferris State, who happened to win the national title. So I watched them play the Elite Eight game. Then I watched Northern State play Ferris State for the finals. And, you know, just what I saw is just the competitive spirit that the teams had. You know, it's their ability to say, you know what, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And I know some of those guys personally, their coaching staff, and that's sort of what it takes. You know, it's all the little things that people don't necessarily see in the box score. Yes. Just that dive and that willingness to do whatever it takes for your team to win, whether it's an extra pass or whether it's making timely free throws or open shots, stuff like that. That I don't think we're that far away in my opinion. You know.
Yes.
Northern State actually lost to Northwest Missouri a week before we played them, and we actually played them a little bit closer. Northwest Missouri did. So, I mean, we're not that far away in my opinion, but we still have a long way to go. But it was good for our guys to watch it as well, to sort of see what it takes to win a national title and to play at the elite level.
Yes.
You and your team are now in the offseason. What have the last few weeks been like for Coach Bahl? Have you been lying around the beach, or have you been recruiting with so many positions to fill with all the seniors that graduated?
So a little bit of both, actually. So I did actually get to the beach. Me and my daughter went to the beach for about 3 or 4 days down to Mexico during spring break when we weren't allowed to have access with our guys. But we did before that. Before spring break, we had 3 or 4 recruits on campus. You know, we're trying to rebuild what we had here. Then obviously last week was our first official week back after the NCAA break, where we had a full week of conditioning, weights, and some basketball stuff. So it's been really good to get back in the gym with some of the guys and just sort of get rejuvenated and refocused on, you know, next season. I mean, that's where our main focus is making sure we're the best team we can possibly be for next season.
We know you can't get specific on recruits, but why don't you tell us about what types of players you are looking for in terms of positions and pieces to fill for your team?
Sure. No, I think we're looking for a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. You know, we're trying to go a little bit younger, but at the same time, we're going to need to get some junior college players, even some transfers to come in and help us right away. You know, we have a good core of young guys coming in with 3 or 4 freshmen, but those guys just aren't going to be ready yet at the college level. So we need some guys to come in and help us right away. But I think we return a solid, you know, our group that returns a really good group. You know, so we're not looking for that big of pieces to fill in. We're looking for guys to fill a role. You know, I think the biggest thing you're seeing, I was a shooter. You know, I want to be able to shoot the basketball a little bit better. I think that's one of the things that we didn't do a very good job of this year, whether it's from the free throw line or just from, you know, especially down the backstretch, you know, going 3 for 21 versus Adams State from the three-point line on the shots that I thought we should have taken. The guys put a tremendous amount of work in. You know, I think that's one of the things we're looking for is guys who can, you know, knock down the 3 ball and just shoot a little bit more consistently.
So did you have to travel out of state in the U.S. to recruit, or have you been staying a little bit more local to when you're searching for recruits?
A little bit of both. You know, a little bit of both. You'll see signing periods coming up, and I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised with some of the kids we're going to sign early on the 11th. But we are definitely bringing kids in from Colorado. I'm a Colorado guy myself. We definitely want to bring in 3 or 4 Colorado kids on our roster. You know, and definitely start filling that need and you know, filling with some local talent as well as you know, kids from surrounding areas and surrounding states.
One recruit that you brought in last year was Marcus Jefferson. He redshirted this past season. Can you tell us a little bit about the guard that has the familiar last name?
Sure. No, he's different than his brother. You know, his brother was more of a true scoring point guard. And I wouldn't even call Brandon Jefferson a point guard. He was more of a scoring guard. You know, where Marcus is more of a true point guard. You know, he can definitely shoot the basketball like his brother, can definitely score, but he's probably a little bit more of a type of kid who's going to get his other teammates involved. I'm not saying that Brandon didn't, but we look to Brandon to score a lot more than we do Marcus. Marcus is more of a traditional point guard in terms of find the open man, you know, make the open pass, push the ball in transition, and really set his teammates up.
So we'll definitely have Marcus on the show coming up here in a little bit. But do you feel like the pressure is on him to have such a big success like Brandon brought during those incredible years when he was here at Metro?
Sure. I mean, I think there's always going to be some type of pressure around that. Just with, I have an older brother who was a really, really good player in the RMAC. He's over 2,000-point career scorer, so I had to follow in his footsteps as well. But one thing we've told Marcus, and Marcus is a little bit more self-sufficient as a freshman. You know, he really doesn't need a whole lot of people around him in terms of telling him how good he is and all those things. But I think definitely talking with him, he knows that his brother played here, and he knows that his brother was probably one of the best players to ever play here. But Marcus also knows that he's a different type of player. You know, his expectations he has for himself is really the only pressure that he's putting on himself. And there's no added pressure for myself or the coaching staff or anybody else around the program. You know, we just want Marcus to be Marcus. We want Marcus to be the new MJ, not BJ like his brother.
Yes. Another former great Roadrunner is Mitch McCarron, and he recently signed with a new team overseas. Can you tell us where he will be playing and how big this is in terms of the level of competition?
Yeah, no, I think Mitch has done a great job. He was down in the NBL, which is basically the NBA down in Australia for Cairns, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Now their season just ended, so he has a 4-month period where I believe he's going to Slovenia over in Europe, which is just, honestly, it's a different level of basketball. You know, it's very, I mean, Mitch right now probably plays in the 2nd or 3rd best league in the world down in the NBL. You know, there might be 1 or 2 leagues in Europe that rivals that league. And Slovenia is not that far off, you know, in terms of that's where a lot of the big name guys go and play when their off season's made. And obviously, I think Mitch is already over there right now, and I've seen some highlights where he had a dunk on someone or something. So he's just doing his thing that we saw here plenty in the future. And you know, Mitch is just one of those success stories that we've had, but he's not the only one. You know, we have a bunch of other guys, Brandon Jefferson, for example, Nick Kay. You know, guys that have a traditional, that have been playing professionally for a while, that have really started to carry the torch and are laying the foundation for some of the guys that we have now.
So let's move over a little bit to the coaching staff. So your assistant, Lucas Gabriel, just had his 2nd child last night. Now as a father of 2 children, what advice can you give Lucas about being the daddy of 2 children?
I don't know if I'm the best person to give parenting advice, but no, I mean, I think Lucas has got to do, he loves his job. You know, he loves basketball and he loves this program. And the short time he's been here, he loves this institution. You know, but he also has to, you know, he has another love too, and it's his family. And sometimes as coaches, you always get wrapped up in what we're doing here. And obviously, I told my staff, if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in terms of recruiting and stuff like that, there should be some time where, you know, you can do both. You know, and that's probably the one advice I would give Lucas is, you know, make sure you spend the quality time with your young ones and your wife, you know, because those times you can't get back. You know, the basketball stuff here will be here tomorrow, but going home a little bit earlier than you normally would during a work day, you know, maybe just spend a little more time with your kids that you normally wouldn't. And that's advice I give myself as well. You know, sometimes you need to shut it down, and there's other things in this world besides basketball.
So, Coach, one more question. Have you been following Division I basketball? And if so, who do you think is winning tonight, Michigan or Villanova?
Oh, I mean, I think, of course I've been following it. And, you know, I mean, the way Villanova played, it's close to my heart, the way they shot the basketball. You know, and people always say, you know, different venues, it's hard to shoot in different venues. Well, shooters know how to shoot anywhere, you know, and obviously that's one of the things that they do really, really well. But I also think that, you know, Michigan's a really good team defensively, and I don't think they're going to shoot the ball as well as they did 2 nights before against Kansas. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game. But if I was a betting man, I would probably have to go with Villanova tonight.
Okay. Well, Coach, it's always great to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you guys.
Great luck to you with that recruiting those players.
Thank you, guys.
So we're going to be taking our final break, but we'll be talking more basketball with freshman guard Marcus Jefferson on the Coach's Corner.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks. Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
I'm Brendan Krogge. I'm a senior at MSU Denver. I run for MSU Denver cross-country team. You're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
My name is Erica Ruiz, and I am a senior at MSU Denver. You are watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
So glad you're back with us. Before we talk with Marcus, we want to remind you to visit Shop MSU Denver for all your Roadrunner apparel. The spring season is bringing warm weather, so visit the website for t-shirts, shorts, hats, golf equipment, and much more. That's shopmsudenver.com. So you can be representing your gear with the red and blue like David over here. So now we welcome in Marcus Jefferson. Marcus, thank you for being on the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So have you been keeping up with men's basketball?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. Always. Since my brother was here in 2010 through 2014, I've always been a Roadrunner fan.
Nice. But Division I basketball.
Oh, yeah, well, of course, yes. Villanova.
So you're going with Villanova tonight?
Yeah, I'm going with Villanova tonight.
So, Marcus, you just finished your first season with the Roadrunners.
Yeah.
You redshirted the season, so you didn't get any time on the court. But tell us the things that you learned, whether it was being the pace of the game or how it is played at Division II level.
I learned a lot this season. I'm very happy I redshirted. In practice, I learned a lot from the pace, the physicality, all of that. And I was able to learn the plays for next year. I mean, it was a great benefit for this year.
What is it like being led by Coach Bahl? What were some of the things he said this season that stood out to you the most?
Oh, I love Coach Bahl. I mean, he says a lot. I mean, he holds all of us accountable on and off the court. He makes sure we always play hard and play unselfish and play team ball.
So your last name is pretty famous because of your brother. Your brother Brandon played here for 4 years and did some pretty amazing things. What do you remember most when you watched your brother play here at MSU Denver?
I just remember the passion that the whole team played. I remember the crowds always being packed. I remember just the whole culture of Metro State basketball.
Did Brandon offer you any advice after you committed to play basketball for the Roadrunners?
Yes, he just told me to always work hard and always get the extra work in when nobody's watching, and it'll pay off at the end.
Is there any pressure to have to live up to Brandon while he was here, or do you feel like you're your own personal person and will contribute to the program in your own way?
Yeah, sure, there's a little bit of pressure, but I think I contribute in the same way he did or even more. And, yeah, I just got to work hard every day and hopefully leave a legacy like he did.
It says in your bio at roadrunnerathletics.com that you are majoring in engineering. Is that still the case, and what do you plan to do after you graduate?
Yes, that still is the case. Engineering, I hope to take it as far as I can, hopefully get a job, maybe do some internships on my redshirt senior year, and just hopefully take that as far as I can.
Nice.
So you are from Lewisville, Texas. What are some things you miss about Texas other than your family, of course, in terms of food, warmth, or places you need to go?
I just miss the home-cooked meals. I miss all my friends. I miss Whataburger. Of course, I don't have that here. I just miss Texas a lot, but Denver is pretty cool.
What can't you wait for when you go back for the summer?
Definitely seeing all my friends and home-cooked meals and being around my family.
Well, Marcus, thank you for coming on the show, and great luck to you this offseason as you prepare for the 2018 and 2019 season.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. So before we wrap up today's show, we want to tell you what's coming up this week in Roadrunner sports. Our softball team will be back at the Regency Athletic Complex this weekend, taking on Chadron State. The Roadrunners will play doubleheaders on Saturday and on Sunday, both series starting at noon, and the Metro Broadcast Network will be out there to catch all the exciting softball action. Our baseball team is out on the road and will compete in pod play in Colorado Springs. They'll face off against UC Colorado Springs for 2 games and against Regis University for 2 games. It's a big weekend in terms of RMAC seeding, so we wish Coach Ryan Strain and his team the best of luck.
The outdoor track and field team will head to Boulder to compete in Colorado University Open. They'll go toe-to-toe with some great competition this weekend, both on Friday and Saturday. The tennis teams will be home this weekend, and they'll face off against RMAC rivals CSU Pueblo on Friday and against Colorado Mesa on Saturday.
And as Coach Ferguson mentioned, her women's golf team will head to Goodyear, Arizona to compete in the Mustang Intercollegiate next Monday and Tuesday. You can follow their progress and the rest of the sports program at roadrunnerathletics.com. You can also keep up with all our sport teams on Twitter at Metro Sports. So we want to thank Coach Ferguson, Coach Bahl, and Marcus for coming on the show. I also want to thank David for being such a great co-host.
Well,
thank you,
thanks
David.
for having me. I enjoyed it every single time.
Yep. I'm Tony Almanza. We'll see you next time on The Coach's Corner.
I pledge.
I pledge. I pledge.
Here at MSU Denver.
To stop sexual harassment.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
It's on us.
All of us.
To get a friend home safely.
It's on us to be a part of the solution.
And not part of the problem.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Some students come to Metropolitan State University of Denver to find their future. Others look to sharpen their current skills. In the case of David Thibodeau, it was both. Our faculty helped fuel his entrepreneurial spirit while encouraging him to pursue his personal passions. These two talents came together in Ska Brewing Company, which he co-founded in 1998 in Durango and is considered one of the top up-and-coming Colorado companies.